It is your host, my Alysia. I'm back with another one-on-one. And today's guest is going to be Fiona. She is going to be talking about having no thoughts, just vibes. So I hope your new year's going well. And that is what we're implementing, okay? No thoughts, just vibes, focusing on you. So let me go ahead and add her in.
Hi. How
Girl,
are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. So before we get started, I have to say Fiona is giving, the name is giving very much material, girl. So I have to say, hey, I came across you on TikTok in your viral video where you're sick of perceiving, sick of being self-aware, and just sick of being observational. And you started your movement, the Bimbofication Movement. And it just has been a movement that the girls are loving. So I want to start with going into how did you create this movement?
Honestly, after I left a really toxic relationship, I was seeing how some people are just able to move on from relationships so fast. And I was like, you know what? Okay, bimbuality. I started calling it bimbuality instead of bimbocation, bimbo spirituality. And so I'm like, okay, in order to get over these relationships faster and not get lost in these relationships, you need to be a little bit obsessed with yourself. Okay. So I really focus on just spirituality, but also just looking good, looking hot, and focusing on you. After toxic relationships, you need to do stuff completely focus on you. And yes, that involves looks. It involves looks because this means you're focusing on you, you're building your confidence. And when you go out, people will treat you different because of the way your energy is going out into the world. So I just use bimbofication because it's just thinking too much just causes too much havoc sometimes. Sometimes I just want a clear mind. I just want to be at peace sometimes. So I was like, you know what? Bimbofication, that's what I'm gonna call it, or bimbuality.
Exactly. No thoughts, just vibes, focusing on yourself, focusing on you as a person. And I love how you talked about how you got to the name because I was curious about that. How did she come up with bimbofication? Because I know a lot of people are thinking you're saying to be stupid. So what do you have to say to those people that think that?
Okay, so what I say to that is, honestly, it kind of is what I'm saying.
Okay, I get
but I'm saying to use it to your advantage. When you're in school, do your schoolwork, but let people underestimate you sometimes because it'll be a lot easier to get through life if you're not always trying to prove yourself. Oh yeah, I actually know exactly what I'm doing, so I don't need your help. Because then people are gonna be okay, I won't help you then, and they'll do it even harder than you if you're always trying to prove that you're this big person. I'm just saying, pretend that you're a little slow, and people may just take it a little easier on you. And then you could just achieve what you want without having that burden and expectations of other people all the time.
So basically the key to being smart is also playing dumb, basically. Just play a little dumb. You're not saying don't be self-aware, but don't be so overthinking and nitpicky, basically what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm saying when I say be self-aware is you don't have to do a deep analysis dive on yourself all the time. That's great. That's great that people on healing journey, some days you could just be okay, I look really good today. But you don't need to say every single day is about trauma and deep analysis of yourself. It's, oh my God, does this part of my body look good? Does am I thinking? No, sometimes you could just be a little surface level, just calm it down. And so that's what I mean by being self-aware. Stop being so focused on yourself and thinking that everybody is thinking of these little itty details about you, because they don't care. People aren't gonna care that much. So
Exactly. So with bimbofication and how you said figure it out, you have bimbo I cannot pronounce bimboality,
bimbuality.
bimboality and bimbofication. So when you said that you coined it from having your relationship. So how did you nitpick and get those positive attributes out of that relationship to create this amazing movement? Was that hard? How did that come about?
Well, in terms of nitpicking and stuff, I think I just was so, toxic people are there to make you feel bad about yourself. And what you'll realize is you'll constantly be so worried about, especially impressing like the other person. You'll be so worried. And so I was constantly nitpicking myself. Like, I literally, like, he said he didn't like sweatpants. I got rid of all my sweatpants. Like, he said he didn't like my hair certain way. Never wore my hair the other way again. Like, he didn't like certain things. Never did it again. And I realized I was so obsessed, like, with him. And I was losing myself because I was like, you know, I like those sweatpants. Like, I like those stuff I was wearing. I liked, like, doing this stuff. So in terms of nitpicking, like, all those little details and things they say, like, you need to take it with a grain of salt sometimes. Like, you don't have to constantly do every single thing that someone tells you to do. Like, you could just do it if it makes you feel good. And that's the whole point. Do whatever makes you feel the hottest. Besides bimbofication. Like, that's it. That's it.
In the relationship, or was this after the relationship?
In the relationship, I realized how much I was nitpicking myself. And near the end of it, I was like, this isn't even me. Like, people around me were like, what are you doing? Like, you don't even want to wear sweatpants? Like, you don't even want to wear sweatpants out? Like, and I was like, yeah, like, you know what? Like, I really am losing myself. And I don't even feel my hottest anymore. Like, this isn't me. And so I was like, I just need to be my own biggest fan and be a little bit obsessed with myself and just let loose and just not even think about whatever else is thinking. Because why am I going to let this person who's only known me a year out of the 2 decades I've been living? I've been living with myself for the last 2 decades. For the last 20 years, I spend 24 hours a day with myself. I think I would know myself a little more than anybody else.
Exactly. I love this. I love this. So I want to get into how to not be perceived, because you do well at that.
Yes.
Like, I need to know how to not be perceived. We need to know.
Okay, honestly, people that like even know me before is I will go like anywhere, and I just like I don't think about what like people are saying, because I just focus on like me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't go in a room and I'm like, oh yeah, like her back is like 90 degrees away from me, so that means like she doesn't like mess with me. Like, I just need to leave now. Like, I just need to go. Like, it's really not that serious. Yo, and like even like I remember in high school, like I would always have my headphones in, like have like the best music party with myself, and people be like, Fiona, like people are like trying to like talk to you or like say something about you, like how do you not hear them? And I'm like, because I'm just in my own world. Like, I just don't care of like what people have to say. Like, they don't know. And like I don't know, you just literally need to have like an elevator music in your head sometimes, especially people with social anxiety, because like who cares what these random strangers think?
Exactly. Like, and I love how you pinpointed on how you were just like, you're in a room and you're just not like, the girl is turned and she doesn't want me there, because like overthinkers will start thinking, I'm getting this energy. But like you said, just worry about you, don't worry about them, don't worry about what other people are doing. And just, I feel like not being perceived is just like you said, just like when you focus on yourself, you really can't, you're not showing any emotion because you're not fazed by what other people are doing. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, I'm a bimbo.
And like, look on my TikTok page. I'm literally monotone. I have no facial expression. I don't really share details about my life. Yet all these comments are like, oh my God, like assuming that like all these things. Like, she's like, oh yeah, one comment's like, she got in a car accident when she was young and that's why she can't move her face. And I'm like, what did I say, brother? I never said that. They're like, she has so much Botox that she can't even move her face, or she's this old, or like, and I was like, I didn't even say all that. And I was just like, my whole page is proof, because I'm talking in monotone. I'm literally talking like this like all day, and people are making like all these stories, and I'm like, look y'all, like I'm not doing anything, I'm not sharing any personal information, and look, people are already saying shit. So this is what I mean by like, you shouldn't even be worried about being perceived.
Exactly. And I love, on your TikTok page, you were just like, somebody was like, what do you do for a living? You were just like, thank you, that's a good question. I love that.
I mean, that was a good question, but like, it's just but even with that, all over Twitter, they're like, yeah, like, I know exactly what she does now. Like, she has an OnlyFans. Like, her parents must be disappointed in her. And I'm like, I didn't even answer the question. I didn't even say nothing. And you guys are saying that I'm like, all these things. And it's just proof that, like, no matter what you say, even if you say nothing, people are going to have to say something about you. So you can't even be perceived or worried anymore.
Exactly. So the shit perceived is don't worry about it. Remain monotone. Don't show any reaction. Don't show any reaction.
Like, you can show emotion.
Okay.
That's what people get confused. When it comes to reactions, especially with toxic people, gray rock, just be like, okay, like, like, or I don't get it. Like, what? And, like, be so annoying with it that they're just gonna, like, be like, okay, like, I'm not even gonna try to insult her anymore because she doesn't get it. Like, I love doing that. I'm like, what? Like, what do you mean? Like,
so, okay, I don't like talking about. I don't get it. Like that. Just I don't get it.
Like, my hair is dry. Like, what? Like, I don't get it. Like,
look here. Like,
I literally just washed it. Like, I don't get it. Like, trust me, like, gray rocking, because people love reactions, and when it comes time to give the big reaction, people actually listen to you, because people are gonna be like, when I'm in these situations and I'm usually a pretty calm person, when it times to give these reactions, they're like shocked. They're like, I didn't know, like, you had this in you. But you need to save it and you need to pick your battles and choose which one is even worth, like, freaking out over.
Okay. So I'm jotting all these notes down. I hope you guys are jotting it down too. So we talked about relationships. So what is your advice on bimbofication and friendships?
I can say that, especially in the beginning, do that little slow act, see how they treat you. See how people treat you, and, like, you'll notice their little comments or little actions very quick if they, like, don't think you're gonna be onto it, because they'll say it to your face. Like, people, like, a lot of people will be toxic to your face and be mean to you, so you do need to put that little kind of, like, dumb and they'll do it. And when it comes time to, like, there's no reason to be, like, arguing with someone or friendship. Like, you just need to be like, okay, like, you know what, like, this isn't working out, it's done. Like, all you need to do is 2 sentences, keep it at that. There's no reason to start posting their mom or whatever people be doing whenever they have friendship breakups.
Okay, that's amazing. So okay, let's move on from friendship. So does anything ever bother you, or does bimbofication help you just not even be phased? Like, what bothers you, if you don't mind me asking?
There's things that bother me. Like, of course, like, but honestly, I tell people this all the time. I tell my therapist all the time, like, I don't, other than, like, this relationship, like, I hardly feel stress. Like, I know this sounds crazy, and people are gonna be like, oh, you're just, like, trying to lose. I don't feel stressed, because I just realize that everything is temporary, and big emotions, okay, when you are in the middle of a big emotion, okay, anger, sadness, whatever, your brain can't imagine another, like, emotion at the time. So when you're really, really angry, all your brain can, like, know is anger. And so you need to know that, like, this emotion isn't gonna last. I think emotions only last, like, 20 minutes, like, huge emotions. So you just need to, like, let it come. And when it comes, be like, okay, I feel this emotion in my chest. It feels tight. Like, I feel it in my heart because it feels empty. But it's all focused on you. You shouldn't focus on, like, the problem and nitpicking and trying to, like, put up pros and cons or whatever. Literally focus on, okay, like, I feel the pain in my throat, or I feel it in my, like, literally let yourself feel it. Or I do the blank white wall method, where I like to think of a dry erase board, and I, like, in my mind, like, write it on my erase board and then erase it back into a white blank wall. Yeah.
Okay. So that just helps you, like, basically is you shouldn't really be that stressed, because emotions only last just a few minutes and stuff, and just feel it and then let it go. Just
Yeah, like feel it first, feel the emotion. And I also made a page about how your mind is a snow globe. And so,
I saw that one.
yeah. And so when you have all these emotions or when you're making hard decisions or whatever else, like your mind is all shaken up. And you know, in snow globes, it's all like all over the place. Sometimes you just need to let it all the way go down to the ground. And that's when you start making decisions. That's when you start problem solving. Because when it's all over the place, like you can't focus. Like, let's see, there's a little snowman inside it. You can't see the snowman with all the sparkles going around. You need to let it go down so it's clear to you. And it won't even happen by thinking about it too much. It usually happens when you just let it happen. Like, let it go, and it'll randomly come to you in a dream or whatever else.
Wow, you're a therapist. You're a therapist. Low key, you're a therapist. The blank technique, and then the snow globe thing. I never thought about it like that, like my thoughts and stuff like that. Okay, period. Thoughts just vibes. Okay, so wrapping up, what are 5 steps that you would give us to be a great bimbo?
Okay, so I think step number one is to clear your mind by using the blank white wall method. Start with a clean mind. Number 2 is look good. Start investing in yourself looks-wise and building your confidence up. Like, this is, and when people say this, they're always asking me if there's a certain aesthetic. There's no aesthetic. Like, I don't look like what the bimbos look like when you look up bimbo TikTok. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a certain look they have. I don't look like them.
Yes.
Rule number 3. Oh, this is hard to think about. The steps. I don't know if they're in order, but they're whatever. Rule number 3, get rid of every person in your life that's making you feel like you're not hot. After you feel hot, you're gonna be able to notice like who was winning off you knowing you're like you thinking you're not hot. You're gonna notice that.
Okay.
Yeah. Rule number 4. I'm just trying to think of my videos. Rule number 4.
Focus on yourself. That's my main thing off of your bimbo. The rules of bimbofication. Focus on yourself.
Focus on yourself. Discover every single thing about yourself. Discover every single thing. Become your own biggest fan. Study yourself. Literally, like, write it down and study yourself. And rule number 5, make your circle entirely with people that love themselves and are gonna love you too. Yeah.
Period. Yes. Okay, period. So somebody jot it down in the comments. Those 5 steps. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I really enjoyed this conversation, and I'm about to be a great bimbo, okay?
Yes! I'm proud of you.
And, also, you have a podcast. So when can we be expecting your next episode for Bimbo Manifesto?
Okay, so I don't know how many of my followers are on it, but I'm in the middle of writing the script.
Okay.
So hopefully soon, Bimbo Manifesto episode 2, and it's either going to be on 30K millionaires or it's going to be on training your mind.
Okay.
So what soon?
Okay, thank you so much, guys. And that was Fiona on Bimbofication.
Yeah, thank you.